Hey guys, this is Alex. If you watch my other videos on the what I call the Uber pick, but it's a double-ended pick with an HPC short hook, this one actually, on one end, and a Peterson diamond, small diamond, on the other that I like to use when I'm picking, and then a custom handle that fits my hand pretty well. So anyway, I broke the short hook end of it off the other day while picking. This is it. You can see it's a pretty faithful copy of the HPC. Luckily, I had made a Xerox of the original. I actually have a Xerox of the whole pick, but this was an easier way to do it. And so I was just going to show you how I'm going to attempt to recreate it. So what I have here is a piece of Starrett feeler gauge, feeler stock. It's a 12-inch, comes in 12-inch lengths. This is 12 by 1/2. This is 023. I think the original pick was 020. So I'm going to try it in 023 and see how that goes. And I've got some other thicknesses as well, if I like it. I have put some blue layout dye on the stock. You could use Sharpie as well. So this is happens to be Starrett layout dye, but you could use die cut or whatever. So the first thing now, so the strategy I'm going to use is I'm going to cut or grind the top profiles of both ends of the pick first and get those perfect, because you need to do some work with some files and various things to get all this shape just right. And when you've got it cut down to this thickness, it's very hard to hold in your vise. So I'm going to work at just that top edge and then come in and finish the bottom afterwards, because that's just flat. That's a lot less critical. The top is what you actually use for picking. So I'm going to start out by making a scribe line reasonably straight where I think I want the main shaft to be. And I just have this template taped down. I've got a little bit of just packing tape that I used to attach it to the table. And this is my trusty Starrett scribe. And so I am, in fact, trying to go all the way, not just through the layout die, but also scratch the metal a little bit in case the layout die comes off. And I'll just sketch the curve here a little bit. And then I've got to come in by hand with my awkward lack of drawing skills and just kind of get that scribed in. And I'm just going to continue this arc up so that I can finish the tip later. And I am going to come in and attempt to, in this case the tape is going to get in the way. Attempt to capture this dimension here. May need to use a knife or something, but no, it just broke, didn't it? But so it's right about there. But attempt to capture this curve here just a little bit, just to give myself an idea. So I should have a pretty good mark there now. So I'm going to take this off. In fact, I'll stop the camera, take it off, and set up to do the other side. Okay, so I removed the template, which I did manage to substantially preserve, but I've made a copy of it, so I copy it as many times as I like. You can see the scribe line. It's nice and easy to see. I've also managed to scratch the metal, so even if this stuff wears off, you can see it. This particular kind seems to come off with the tape a little bit. But I'll still have a witness mark there and my little just sort of indicator for the end. That's not really the shape I want, but it's close. crank up the brightness a little bit. So this is a brand new, out of the box Peterson small diamond. I've got the whole thing turned upside down because I'm left-handed and it's easier to do it from this end. Now the main thing I want to capture here is the exact angle of this diamond and the height of the diamond, okay, relative to the shaft. So I'm going to come in and scribe along the shaft, which hopefully will stay in place for me. I don't like this die. I'm going to try something else next time. It seems to flake off a lot. I don't put too much on. So I want to get right into that corner. Make a good solid mark right into that corner because I'm going to be filing to that. And then come in and scribe. There we go. Up this way. And then come along this way. A little bit of the die came off the end, so I just shifted down just a bit. But you can see I'm capturing that angle. And then I am going to, in this case, mark the bottom. It may not be where I end up, but just to give myself an idea, I'm actually going to use a caliper when I fine-tune this. Okay. And then I'll just remove the... So there we go. Now obviously you don't have to copy Peterson, you could use whatever your favorite shape is. And then I'll come back in with my straight edge, try to line it up with the line that I've got here, and just extend this a little bit. So I have a nice straight mark. And again, I'm trying to etch the metal as well as cut through the die. And so for the length, I want to stop about there. So we'll continue the line down. I can see where I made that mark. Now I'm actually not even very straight on this piece of metal, but I don't really care. It's going to get bent all to hell anyway. Okay, and so then my radius is about here. So we just sort of, actually we could use this as a template for that. Just scribe the radius in roughly here, and then I know that my thickness is going to be down at the handle, probably about that far, so I'll just scribe the radius there and give myself a little witness mark at that point, except that I screwed up. Yeah, that should really be here. That's why we use a template, right? So just put a little X through that. Okay, so now I've got my two ends laid out. I'll probably put some kind of radius here on that. I have the original pick here, or the remnants of it somewhere, and so I'll probably I want to make sure that I copy the shaft width carefully. And I'll probably find the Uber pick and just double check it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go out to the garage. I'm going to grind pretty close the rough shape of this and bring it back and show you where I'm at, and then I'll go back out with some files and refine the shape of the top to where I like it. And again, the reason I'm leaving the top, or leaving the bottom and all this meat in here, is so that I can clamp this in my vise and have good purchase on it while I'm doing the work on it. So I'll go away for a bit, and we'll come back and see what we've got. Okay, so I've done some grinding and some filing, and I'm really not happy with this Starrett layout die. Maybe I didn't use it correctly, but it seems to just all flake off everywhere. But luckily I did scribe through it and down into the metal, so I can still see my scribe lines. I did cut a couple of holes in here in case I want to put a handle in Stuff is really hard to drill through. I got the diamond almost perfect. The angle is just slightly off, but that's just 2 passes of a file to fix that. And then this end I need to take a little bit out of the middle of the radius and then come in and do the bottom. So this technique worked really well because I had to come in a little bit more here to correct an error, and I could just easily take more off of this surface here and not have to worry about the depth because I have plenty of material here, and it just clamps in the vise beautifully, so you don't have the thing flopping around on you. Won't be as easy on the other side. So anyway, I'm going to go back out to the garage and see if I can get this thing sorted. Alright. Well, hey guys, after quite a lot of filing and sanding, and grinding, filing, and sanding, I have this thing basically done. The finishing part is probably the most time consuming of the whole lot. But I got the diamond end absolutely perfect. It's within a few thousandths of the Peterson, which is what I was shooting for, all the way up the shank. And then the curve, again, this one broke, so that I think this was the original curve. I've got the right aspect ratio on it, I've got the right radius. It may be slightly fat, but I think it'll be okay. If it's a problem, I can always file it down a little bit. Didn't go quite as drastic on the little finger grooves. I like these because if you can pick the damn thing up, when you're picking, kind of gives you a place to put your thumb and your forefinger, or if you're coming in from the top, you know, you got a place to put your thumb, and this part kind of ends up on the heel of your hand, depending on how you set it up. And again, I did drill a couple of holes in it too. Looks like I got different sizes, but anyway, in case I want to put a little handle on it or something. But there you go. So we started with a Starrett feeler gauge. They're about $2. They look like this. They come in all different sizes, up to probably 050, but any size, reasonable size for a lockpick. Cut it down to size, and that technique of shaping the top edge, the business end, if you will, getting that perfect on both ends, and then coming in and finishing the bottom, which is basically just flat. On this one, you've got a little bit of a curve, but basically bringing this edge in to meet this edge rather than trying to work on both sides at the same time. That was very effective, and I got a much better result with a lot less fiddling. So there you go. So hopefully you'll see that in some upcoming videos, and you know, maybe I'll give it a go. And again, this is my sort of go-to set of picks, if you will. The small hook or short hook and diamond, and interestingly they are the same aspect ratio. So the shank is about 060 right at the beginning of the rise, and then the total height of the diamond or the curve is about 120 inches, and the millimeters will come out right there. So it's about a 2-to-1 aspect ratio, which is my preference sort of for general purpose use. So anyway, thank you for watching. Hope this was helpful in some way to some of you, and as always, have fun. Wear eye protection when you're working on this kind of stuff. Your eyes are it's the most important safety thing you can do. That and keeping it legal. Cheers.